What's up, YouTube? It's the Vintage Cube Chef back with another Lorwyn Eclipsed Draft. Let's jump right in and see how we do. All right, pack one, pick one. Oof, not a great pack overall. Squawk Roaster and Rhyme Chill are both Vivid deck cards that I think are quite decent. In particular, I think I would take Rhyme Chill over Squawk Roaster, but it's pretty close. They're both very fair. Zealot's good, Changeling Wayfinder's good, but I think I'm going to take Fists. It is notably the only good green card in the pack. Reaping Willow is pretty great as a 1/4 lifelink on turn 4. When you remove 2 counters from this, you kind of feel like you just win if you're returning a creature and you get a 3/6 lifelink out of it. I don't know, I haven't gotten to do this very much. It's not a tribe, though, is kind of my issue, and this kind of slams me into Elves. There's no Elves in this pack, or Kithkin. I think I'm going to try and play Elves or Kithkin. I'm going to take the only really good green card and try to go into Elves or Kithkin. And look at the reward. Just the instant reward. This card is borderline unbeatable when resolved. Even if you're in Elves, right? Like, if you actually are doing the Elf thing. If you're just playing this card, it's not as good. But, and then once again, not really any Elf things in this pack. So really clearly signaling to the person we're passing to that Elves are just not happening for them, and they should stay out of it. And clearly, whoever we're getting passed by wants nothing to do with Elves either. I do think the Dignitary is better than the Eulogist when you're in Elves. Eulogist is probably a better card by its own because Dignitary is one of the only Behold cards that requires extra steps. Not only do you need to Behold an Elf just to cast it for its regular cost, you also then need an Elf in your graveyard to use its ability. But even as a 2-mana 2/3 on turn 2, it blocks really well. Grub and Boggart Mischief in the same pack here is crazy work. I don't want to be goblin. How does this keep happening? People are avoiding goblins to the point of which where this happens, and it's just wrong. Boggart Mischief's amazing. I actually think there's argument that Boggart Mischief's better than Grub, but it's close. I'm going to take a Changeling Wayfinder here. It's an elf. It gets me my land. Continue signaling that elves are not happening, but this is absurd. So almost certainly the person passing to us is elementals, because they passed on the Boggart things, the Liminal Hold, and we've seen elf stuff. So they could be Kithkin, right? I guess, but how are you not taking Liminal Hold if you're in green white? I don't know. Second Lava Leaper is not what we want to be seeing, but Blightrot is premium removal, so I'm pretty happy taking it here. Sourbread Auntie is great, Elder Auntie is great, so the elf things. We are passing an elf in doing this, but we are also passing an Unforgiving Aim. I think taking the premium removal is a better way to signal than taking an elf that I know some people are really high on this card. I'm kind of in the middle. It can be good, it can be fine. Problem is there's a lot of one drops that that card makes it look a little sad. Creekwood Safe Right is a very decent 2-drop. It's a 2-mana 2/2, and then enters with 3 -1 on its counters, which makes it the 2/2. At the end of your turn, if you have enough in your graveyard, you just remove a counter from it. So the idea is if you play this on turn 2 with no elves in your graveyard, it's just a solid 2-drop. And if you play it later in the game, it just immediately starts removing its counters, which is pretty nice. I think it's a better signal than the Grove Guide, which I think is very okay. I like having Grove Guides, but not that much. Embrace is great. I like it better than Wickermaw and Unforgiving Aim. Although Wickermaw helps us cast Marlin, which is very important. I think the premium removal is better. We only currently have the Fists and the Blightrot, and I'm going to want Embraces for sure as unconditional removal, essentially. Don't like Midnight Tilling. Don't like Dagger. I don't like anything going on here. I could take a Chaos Spewer as just the best stats for cost card in my colors, but it's not an elf, so I really don't want to be playing it. I guess in theory I could play the Dagger. It's just so bad. But, I mean, better than anything else there. We wield the Embrace, which was like the only black card. What? Rhymechill and Squawk Roaster are two of the best cards in our opening pack. I almost pack one, pick one, both of these, and instead chose to take the fight spell to signal. How? How is this possible? Tend the Springs is also a consideration. I've just been relatively unimpressed with it, though. I'll take the Wretch to signal color-wise. Now I'll take the 10 Mist Springs to go get my one island we're gonna play for Marlin, and we wield the Moonglow Extractor. So I mean, clearly we're the only one in Elves. Also, that's the third Lava Leaper we've seen already this draft. Emissary is amazing. 1 mana 1/1 Death Touch basically always trades up or gets removal. I love this Informant, but I think the Emissary is significantly better, and the gaining life is relevant over time. So your opponent doesn't feel good removing it. They don't feel good not removing it. Really, the only reason this card isn't good is when your opponent plays Boulder Dash, deal 2 and then deal 1. The deal 1 is kind of free and it's brutal. Grave Shifter to get back Marlin in case it gets killed, removed, all the things. Sig is fine. 2 mana 2/2 can't be blocked. Problem is if you're not doing the white side of this to transform it and give creatures protection and do all the things, it's kind of just an okay 2-drop. But Grave Shifter is great. Changeling, so it's an elf that goes and gets whatever we need. Eclipsed Elf now is a huge pickup for us. Goes and gets Marlin potentially and helps us fix. We will have the one island in the deck, so it's important, on turn 3 that we haven't played that island yet potentially. But Bridget's Command for the Kithkin deck, we're pretty far away from that at the moment. I could take Eulogist or Wickermaw. I think here I take Wickermaw for the fixing. I don't know. This card's so weird. I think it's fine. I just don't love it. And I know it has a decent win rate, and I get that, but I think Wickermaw is going to really be important for our deck, having an early thing to play. Loyalist is a no-brainer, so Elves are obviously coming the other way for us here, since we signaled it really clearly in pack 1. Now we're getting paid off. We're not getting the rares, which is a little concerning. Our only rare in the deck right now is Marlin. We still could. I don't know if this pack we would get an Elf rare. I think that's pretty hard to believe, but certainly in pack 3 we could get paid the other way around. I still don't really believe the person we're passing to is playing Elves, although now I'm very confused because I'm not really sure how the blue and red premium Vivid cards made it back around, because they're both very playable in 2-color decks. So it tells me that in like nobody's playing blue or red in this pod, is my interpretation, which is obviously incorrect. There's no way that's possible. Another pack where we don't love any of the cards. I guess the Midnight Telling's the most elfy card here, although I'm not playing it, certainly. Blossoming Defense is a great pickup, protecting premium elves and just being a kind of ridiculous combat trick overall. I could maybe play a Pummel for Hire. It's just good stats for cost, and I'm not upset about that. Plus the the life gain is very, very relevant. I'd really prefer not to play this Dagger if we can afford to cut it. Easy Stoic Guide from our pack 1 as a thing we're happy to mill, late game elf, and then graveyard value once it dies or it gets milled. We don't have much in the way of milling, which personally is how I prefer these decks to be. The self-mill stuff can feel a little tenuous, but it is important with our 2 kind of graveyardy elves. And then we have one thing that cares about being in the graveyard. I would take another Pummel for Hire. I don't think I'll play 2 necessarily, but I'm gonna take it. It's just a good green card. I don't really want to be giving people the opportunity to take good green cards and then feel like, oh, I could be green maybe. No, get out of my colors, get out of my lane. I'm Elves and I am stubborn. Ooh, Safe Right Cavalry is a nice pickup here. I like it a lot better than Giftleaf's Embrace, which can be really good when it's good and really bad when it's bad. And cards like that I don't like playing in my decks when I'm striving for consistency. So there are absolutely opportunities where I'd sideboard it in, like you're playing against an opponent that has a bunch of like single target removal, destroy effects, and then it's just a complete blowout, especially at sorcery speed. Well, there's the Beholden Elemental rare. It's kind of an absurd one. The only black card in this pack is the Blackthorn, which isn't really for us. The only green cards in this pack are Eclipsed Kithkin, which we could play with the intent of it just hitting a forest or a changeling as a double green. I have no actual Kithkins, 2 shapeshifters, and then of course I'll have forests. I just don't think that's good enough. I could take a Surly Farmer, which is a Kithkin card, but it's also just not very good, or a second Wickermaw. Honestly, I'm just going to take a second Wickermaw. This pack's terrible for me. It's just one of those ones where you're like, well, not much I could have done here. And we're getting past Kin Binding, which is kind of absurd. Another pack with basically nothing for us. We have Weaver's fine. When this enters, if you have 3 or more creatures, return a permanent from your graveyard to your hand is decent. But Kifkin card that we don't want, 2 Changeling cards we don't really want, although Fiend or Furdock Core works with Marlin, and then a Bloodletter, which I don't like. I'll take the Weaver. If Furdock Core wheels, there's a world where I play it, but we are seeing no Elves now, which is just crazy, because pack 1, we got past Marlin. Now we're getting cut off from Elves. Make it make sense. Shimmer Creep and Outrider are both decent. I would play both. I like Outrider better. What is our elf count right now? 9 plus 2 shapeshifters. All right, I'm okay with this. I'll take the Outrider. I like it. Oh, Morcant Loyalist is a huge pickup. So we're just not opening elves, clearly, because Loyalist pick 4 into Brawler pick 5. I like it better than a second Graveshifter. I want some actual stats, and it's pretty good with all of our 3s here. Which is really powerful. Oh my goodness. And now we're getting a 6th pick, second Emissary. Sign me up. I'm really glad we took the removal when we did, because now we have the ability to actually play it. I could take the 2-drop elf here that mills. I have multiple ways to get back things we mill, and it gets elves in the graveyard early for us, potentially. We just need more early elves now. So now we have too many cards. So we're going to have to consider what cards are the easiest to cut for our deck. Whoa, the Elm is just so absurd. It's not a elf, and the Weaver is a 2-drop, but Gnawback Elm is just such an absurd card. Pick 9, this is the pack that we opened and had absolutely nothing for us. Taking the uncommon just to fill my collection. I don't know if we'll finish this set per se, because I don't know if I'm buying the track, but certainly still filling in the collection helps us. I think Tend the Springs is maybe cuttable. I don't know if I actually want to play this core, but the best card for us. I'm not playing a second Tend the Springs, that's certain. Question is, what are we cutting? We're not playing that. We have some serious cuts to make. I don't think I'm playing 2 Pummelers for hire. I'm gonna guess. Or anything else? I guess Tend the Springs and the core are pretty weak for us. We'll get there in a moment. Ideas here is I want to play basically every elf I can. Our ways to go get the island are Changeling Wayfinder, double Wicker Maw. So we have 1 way to go get the island and 2 ways to cast for blue. And then of course we'll have the island in the deck. We could run 1 Tend the Springs. I've just been really meh on this card. When it goes and makes a 3/4, it's amazing, but that's usually on turn. You're doing it on turn 6 to have this be a 3 mana, go get a 3 or go get a land and make it a 3 and make a 3/4. We do have a couple changelings because it also counts tree folk for that number, and we have the 1 Gnarlback Elm, which is fantastic. This card's just so good. So what are the weakest cards in our deck? The weakest cards in our deck are things that are not elves, things that don't help us get to our late game elves. Weaver is it's our 1 way to get back Marlin if we like mill it or they kill it. I don't love that. Oh, we have a Graveshifter too, actually, which is also a changeling. I guess I don't need a Pummeler for hire. And the Stoic Guide is interesting as a consideration. It is an elf, but our elf count is now fantastic. 13 elves plus 2 shapeshifters. Like, I'm feeling pretty good on that. I think I'm cutting a land and playing 16. And since I don't actually have that much self-mill, I think the Grove Guide is one of my weakest elves. And then we just play, so one way to look at this is we take all the elves out of the deck, because these are all the cards we know for sure, and the changelings contribute to that, right? Double Loyalist also gets back elves from the graveyard, that's right. Dignitary, Scarblade Scout, Safe Right, and double Emissary. So that's all the elves, and they're all pretty premium. I'm pretty happy about it. So what are we running that's not an elf? We're running the Kifkin that's absurd. 4 mana, 3/5 that is basically always a 5/5 when you attack with it. And it can't be blocked with power 2 or less, so just really difficult to block. Pitiless Fist is a removal spell. Elm is a removal spell. Blightrot's a removal spell. Double Embrace is removal. Blossoming Defense is protection. Weaver is graveyard and early game, and then double Wickermoth for fixing. I feel really good about this deck. This is how I want to build it. So let's put everything back and put our rare, because I believe we only have the one in Marlin, on our right here, and get ready to jump into the game. I like doing this so that people can pause and just kind of see the deck as a whole, to make your opinions on how you think this deck will do. But if you've been enjoying it up to this point, it being this video, I'd really appreciate if you subscribed. We're so close to 100 subscribers, and I have some special stuff planned for that. Our goal is to hit 100 by Valentine's Day. So if you want to be one of the last few people that push us over the edge, I'd really appreciate it. If you subscribed, you can join our Discord as well. We have fun contests and stuff for that. Let's just jump right into the first game. Game 1, we have a turn 3 Eclipsed Elf on the play. Seems great. And then we're following it up with a Loyalist or a Graveshifter or Fists, depending on what we do. And Eclipse Elf should, if we haven't drawn a land up to that point, ensure that we can hit a land drop. Alright, Overgrown Tomb pick one or play one, so clearly Elves and clearly got the fixing. Informant is very good. Keep it on top. Well, I'm gonna play Eclipsed Elf. Wow, there goes our island, but also 4 lands I do not want to be drawing in a row. Pretty happy about how that went. And then I'm happy to trade here, have this die, and then just play a Loyalist to get it back, or a Graveshifter and get it back. Absolutely trading. They didn't play a land either, which is interesting. I assume they kept the land on top if that's what if they surveilled and they didn't have a land in hand. Okay, they have lands. Beastling. Yeah, that's fine. Kind of weak. I'm going to play off curve here and just play a Loyalist. If they remove the Loyalist, I get back the Eclipsed Elf, so kind of nice. And then the Loyalist loop. So once the first Loyalist dies, I always get to get back the other Loyalist as long as I'm staggering them. So I'm feeling pretty safe here. That I'm probably just going to fight. But I think it's better to just play 2 Elves here for mana purposes. And once again, I don't want to play the second Loyalist right now. If they want to spend their whole turn next turn paying 5 to give an Elf +2/+2, so be it, right? Like, twist my arm. I'm going to put the Fists on the Extractor. Aww, Exile. Pretty cute. No double attack? Coward. Alright, well, I have so much mana now. Let's start by putting the Fists on the Extractor, fighting the Feastling, and then I guess I should see what I draw first. Oh, Bogsliver's Embrace? I want to use my mana efficiently here. I'm okay with taking another hit for 4 and just getting back my Eclipsed Elf the hard way. It means there's no Elf in my graveyard, so the Dignitary doesn't work anymore, but I think getting back an Eclipsed Elf is more important than that. Plus, they need to kill this Extractor, which puts an Elf in my graveyard. I'm not blocking that. I have an Embrace for it next turn. Scout, sure. Mill 2. And a second Cavalry. Well, in that case, this gets pretty easy. I'm going to Blight 1, exiling this, and putting it on the Dignitary, because I don't really care if it dies. I'm going to play... I'm actually not going to play anything. I'm going to go Combat. I'm going to attack with both of these. Lose a life, and if they want to trade with the Graveshifter, so be it. I have a second Loyalist. They don't know that. I'm going to play the Emissary, play an Eclipsed Elf. If I keep a black up, I could hit a 2-drop. I'm not blocking with this anyway. So this way I could hit a 2-drop and actually play it off of my remaining mana. Oh, but we're obviously taking Marlin here. Unfortunately, we're putting a Foraging Wickermaw on the bottom, but the hope is eventually we can find a land. Gain another life. And our board is kind of stacked. I will absolutely trade with the Safe Right, with the Death Toucher if they offer that. Or we Eclipse Stealth. I guess either work, right? And now Loyalist can get back Graveshifter, which can get back Loyalist, and we just do the loop. Sure. And I'm attacking with Moonglove Extractor again for sure. There's kind of no reason not to. Do I attack with the Eclipse Stealth? I'm playing a 3-5 next turn. I think I just attack with the Extractor. I want blockers. My health is very important to me. Yeah, that's kind of fine. And then I just play an Outrider, and I'm holding up Blightrot. Next. So now we have our loops between Loyalist and Graveshifter, so we're never really out of blockers, and blocking with them is free. So they don't really want to be attacking. And if they attack and it's, you know, scary, we have a Blightrot to protect us, but I'm not using it on any of the things here. This is sorcery speed. So I think I am just gonna pay the full price. And I'm actually gonna exile, I guess it is the Eulogist, it's the highest stat thing. Kind of annoying. And then Bristlebane Bane Outrider can't be blocked by the 2/3, so they can only block with the Eclipse Stealth. Or double, so they can't double block to kill it. And then I have 4 creatures and a Blightrot up. Feeling pretty good here. As soon as we find a way to cast our Marlin, this game feels pretty over. They mill High Perfect Morcant. They didn't want to do that. I can guarantee it. Yep, not using the Blightrot here. And that's probably the game. Foraging Wickermaw enters. We cast Marlin with this many Elves in play. Like, it's kind of over. And then they're Elves, so I get to steal their Elves and play them and trigger Marlin, and you lose, you know? So it was an inevitability, right? We just needed to survive until we found our second Foraging Wickermaw, because we knew the island and the first Wickermaw were in the bottom 6 cards, because we saw them off of the 2 Eclipsed Elves and couldn't take them. We could have taken, or we couldn't have taken the island, but you literally can't off of Eclipsed Elf because it's forest or swamp, not basic land. Foraging Wickermaw does help a lot, and this hand's kind of great as long as we either find a swamp or if we find a land and the Wickermaw lives, or if we find a swamp, this hand is just gas. Turn 1 Evolving Wilds, completely irrelevant. Go get your island. Yep, I knew it. I just knew it. Well, Emissary is an amazing top deck, because if it dies, Dignitary will be able to tap for double green. We don't really have a way to kill it ourselves, but I'm in no rush. I'm probably going to play Wickermaw first, unless we top deck exactly a swamp. If we top deck exactly a swamp, I'm playing Dignitary. I think that would be a little optimistic. Use premium removal on this. Or just play like a 1/3 Merfolk. Oh, goodness. Okay. Name a creature type. Every time a creature of that type enters, this gets a counter. And then you can remove 3 counters from it to cast an instant or sorcery by tapping it. Or to copy an instant or sorcery by tapping it. Well, we didn't draw a swamp, so we are going to try and hit a land drop of some form here. Even a forest is better than nothing. And then we want to get down Loyalist next turn, because we really want to use black source things while we have the Wickermaw in play. It's possible they might remove it if we don't. Well, I can't block on the ground anyway, so I might as well attack. Yeah, this is a free block, but in case they wanted to do something else. And then next turn, if we don't draw a land, we can play Emissary, Dignitary, or the Elm. The Elm, I know I said I want to get black sources down while I have them, but not being able to remove the counters from this if Wickermaw dies is pretty bad. I'd rather have hit a swamp already. Noggle. It's a 1/1. Ooh, that's a way better top deck. Draws me cards. Gain the life back. We're actually profiting in life. I'm generally profiting in life. I live a good life. But I mean more profiting on the life total. We're taking 1 a turn and gaining at least 1 a turn. Although Extractor kind of turns that around, doesn't it? Am I willing to just sacrifice the Extractor to get, what's it called? A card draw in? Well, now I don't really have to, do I? Elm isn't even very good here. I think I just slam a Cavalry and pass. Gain a life off of it. Yeah, removing the 2 counters from the Elm doesn't actually help me. This is interesting. Am I willing? It seems like they're pretty land screwed. Oh no, we went first. I don't know, it's a free damage. I don't think they block, is basically what I was trying to say. So it's a free damage to get in. They obviously block a Loyalist or the Extractor. This can also start buffing Elves, although... Alright, sure. Premium removal on the Cavalry. I'm fine with this. And I will double block the Peddler. Oh, actually, they're giving me a free attack here. I'm gonna take my card, I think, actually. No blocks. Brawler. Yeah, that's better than a Dignitary when I don't have an elf in my graveyard. Gain a life. Gain 2 life. Swing with the team. I have a Death Touch blocker now, too. Marlin for next turn, potentially? Oh my. If we draw any land, Wickermaw gives us the blue we need. And if Marlin comes down, this game's just over. I have double Emissary. The thing is now, these Emissaries are such a problem, because you can't really race them, right? I'm gaining 2 life off every creature I drop. So, you know, you're hitting me for 5 whenever this becomes tapped. Alright, so the next instant or sorcery, they get to copy. So that's a little bit scary. With 1 white. Is this the Behold a Merfolk? No, that's 2. I think the 1 white one is the, like, tap a untapped creature and it to tap a thing. I'm honestly not 100% sure. We still haven't had a good target for this, which is kind of crazy because Merfolk have a ton of 2 power and 1 power creatures, or 2 toughness and 1 toughness. The Brawler here is great. They have to block it. Are they dead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this gives 7, 8. They're going to 2? You're crazy. Discarding Adept Water Shaper? I'm not blocking. What? Any land here. No! I mean, this is 4 life, so we should do this first. But if we do it second, we get the card draw off of this. Yeah, we should do it second in case we hit a land. If we hit a land, this is just insane. I'm not attacking with the Wickermaw. +2/+1 is the Extractor. Oh, we didn't draw a land again. It's so brutal. 8, 9, 10, 11. So they have to block something. Oh, they have to block the brawler, right? So we still get to play, you know, our two elves here and gain 4 life back, which is just absurd. We have 1 white available, and really what the thing that's holding priority is the torque. So we mill 2. It's going to be land, because of course it is. 1 land. Alright. But now I have an elf in my graveyard for Dignitary. Behold the elf I just played. And we gain 2 more life off of this. And now next turn, Dignitary, because we have an elf in our graveyard, taps for double green. The next turn we get to play Marlin, assuming we still have a Wicker Maw. And we just gained 4 life. We took 5 damage last turn. Even if they play like a removal spell and copy it and remove a second thing, they're just so far behind. And they're also at 3, so attacking is kind of off limits pretty soon here. Like the scariest things they could have are pump spells, but there's just not really any crazy pump spells in this set. Like there's the one that's like give 2 creatures +2/+1, so that's 4 damage, which they can copy, which is 8, and then they have 5 on board, so that's 13. So I'd still be at 4 life, so they'd need an additional 4 damage on top of that. Seems pretty unlikely. Temporal Cleansing. Yeah, I'll put that second from the top. You didn't copy it. It's whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery spell, friend. I win? I could hit land. Destroy target attacking or blocking creature. Once each turn you may cast a spell. So I could attack and then use protective response, or I could just play Sig. Draw a card. Huh. They're not dead, right? I attack with everybody. Oh no, they're just dead on board. So, yeah. Attack with everybody. Lose a life and draw a card. I have a free protective response if they want to do tricks. But right now they block a 2, they block a 1, they take 3, they just die. Elves doing elf things, man. Sure. No point in casting a spell here. They have to do something to not die. Oh, they have a second protective response? And so they can convoke here and destroy 2 attacking creatures. It's pretty cute. Very nice, very nice. I am gonna kill this one. Doop. Draw this card. Gathering Stone. Yeah, it's a little slow here, huh? And you're at 2 now. If they have a removal spell for Marlin, they're not, you know, out of this. That's irrelevant. 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 They're technically alive. They go to 1 right now, but I get like 8 Marlin triggers. Oh, Blightrot just wins. Just in case. Oh no, they have nothing in play. Alright, Blightrot just wins. We'll kill Vivalter. Because they block 4 and 2, and then they take 3. GG. No need to BM it. They have no cards in hand, no tricks available. It is just lethal. Clean, effective, never really felt like we were behind. The life link, or the life gain off of the 1-drops was just too much to overcome. And we are just shy of platinum, even though we've only done like 3 drafts since the season reset. Pretty crazy. I have a 1-drop, I have a Foraging Wickermaw into a Loyalist. This seems amazing. And then I get to play a Weaver after that. Oh my goodness, double Wickermaw, or double Emissary. Still think it's more mana effective to play Wickermaw. Uh-huh. Prevail, sure. Oh, goodness gracious. So the idea here is I actually want to put an elf in the graveyard, because then Weaver gets it back for free, so it's kind of like I drew it. It's a permanent card. I do have no removal in hand. I think I have to keep that on top. No attacks. Next turn I can play Emissary and Bogslither's Embrace something. I'm pretty happy taking the 3. Eclipsed Elf. Well, in that case, I think I just play Eclipsed Elf. And try to hit my lands. Give me a land. We're putting 2 removal spells on the bottom. Yucky. But lands are good here. No attacks, obviously. I'm very happy to trade an Eclipsed Elf because I get it back with Weaver next turn. Deal? You can Surveil. You use a trick on this? I don't care if you do. It's an Eclipsed Elf. And it's a Alana format. I also don't care if you save that, right? So Surveil away a land. Sure. Gathering Stone. Terrifying. This early. We're losing this race now. Surveil again. Sure. We hit our land. So I play... I play Emissary. Gain a life. I play Loyalist. Gain more life. And I do think I need to... I just lose this race. Yeah, I think I need to get damage through. I think they trade this, obviously, but just one more elf on off the board, and hopefully Gathering Stone starts missing. Clearly, they did not hit. They're deciding if they want to surveil it away. They do have to worry eventually about milling, but I'm not sure that's really their highest concern right now. Next turn, we get to go land, Weaver, get back the Eclipsed Elf, and replay it. That's just a 5/4. Okay. Land. Get back Eclipsed Elf. Gain a life. Replay Eclipsed Elf. Gain another life. Hit Marlin, which is the exact goal. And now I don't want to lose any elves. So they need the reveal my hand and I discard a card. What is it? Auntie M. Auntie's like Inquisition. The 2 mana, sorcery speed. Give a creature -2/2. Deceit off. Oh my gosh, after we hit Marlin. And we've played a Weaver. So we have to find our Changeling that gets a card back. That's so brutal. At least we get to exile Deceit. Blossoming Defense is great. I just cast this for full cost on, I think it's Deceit. I don't want them getting this back. And I swing with everything. Loyalist gets me back, what's it called? Marlin. Do I defense this? I don't think I do. I think we're just pushing through damage. And we just end turn. Gathering Stone's gonna get absurd, but we do have the pressure on the board right now. Iron Sheet Elf helps a lot. Honestly, if I can kill my own Loyalist, that would be amazing. I don't think I have any ways to blight. Does the Tree Folk only put its blight on a creature an opponent controls? Can I do it to my own creature? This is a very real question. The issue is Morkant Loyalist basically has unblockable. Oh my gosh, they milled their own Marlin, thank goodness. Pass. I'll take 5. They need to be worried about the race the other way. This deals 3 damage a turn every turn. And if I don't attack with it, they can't attack into me. I don't want to play this and then potentially mill one of my ways to get something back. We'll start with Loyalist, just like last time. I don't want to attack with Eclipsed Elf. This basically has unblockable, right? So surely you can't block. You just go to 10. You're fine. Yeah, okay. Then I gain a life and mill 2. And if they have an exile effect, I need to be able to protect the Loyalist. 2 lands is a great mill. Fantastic. I love you, Scout. Alright. They're winning the draw effect. We're winning the damage effect. Okay. How many elves do they have in their graveyard right now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yuck. You make 4 2/2s right now. Alright, we're breeding. I'm kind of happy about that. They don't know it, but their real issue is that I have a +2/+2 to pump this on a future turn. This just gains me 3. Ew. Doesn't kill both at least. So all this does is I just still gain the 3 and they killed one of my creatures. But the lifelink is relevant for sure. The crackback's going to be also pretty real here. They block 2 things, leaving back the Loyalist. Oh, they have a Scout too. Oh my gosh, this Morkant's Eyes is going to be huge. Was that Tristan's command off the top? Thank goodness. Land? Come on. I have so many cards I could draw that help me here. Land is not one of them. So if I hit them this turn, they go to 7. I do have a lot of life, but next turn they just sacrifice this and make 5 2/2s. And then is Marlin even good enough? Not drawing even a creature here for the 1 life is so bad. I think I just have to pass, and it means they don't attack this turn. Very annoying. So they surveil and keep it on top, which means it's an elf for them to draw. Oh, why wouldn't you put that in your graveyard? It's another elf for Morkant's Eyes. I guess it's a 5/4 as well this turn, which is pretty decent. 5/3 Manos, yeah. If they drew a second way to discard from my hand, that's crazy. I have to just believe. I take 8 like this. It's possible what they're going to do here is they're going to remove the Wicker Maw once I've chosen Marlin. So I get back Marlin and they go, aha, and then we kill your Wicker Maw. But then I Blossoming Defense the Wicker Maw to save it. So they drew just like a regular removal spell here. Or they're just banking that Marlin won't be enough. Or they're just gonna make a million elf here and hope it's enough to kill me. It's very likely. This is just so many 2/2s. And not hitting for like that many turns in a row. Another land? Really? Alright. Well, we get Marlin. And as long as this hits a 2-drop elf, we're getting low on cards too. Honestly, just any 2-drop is amazing. Mill 4 cards and then return a permanent from among them to your hand. I mean, it's better than a blossoming defense. Oh, I can't take the grave shifter. I have to take the dignitary here so that I can stay alive. Behold this elf. I gain another life. Am I still dead is the question? I'm not really sure. I haven't done the math, but we got really close to just straight up milling them out. No attacks, obviously. We take 4 off the board. That's 10, 11, 12. So, yeah, I think we're just dead. Double blocking a Eulogist is more efficient. Blocking an Iron Shield Elf is more efficient. And then I take 18. I have no lifelink, so they just attack with everything and they win. Yeah, it was just like 1 turn too late on being able to actually get through the damage. Good job, opponent. Good job, opponent. We just needed 1... I mean, Deceit is what won them the game, right? They had Deceit on the turn we got Marlin. 4 double black, like, what are you gonna do? The mythic that just kind of wins the game sometimes. Welcome to Lorwyn. Alright. I have a 1-drop, I have a 2-drop. Keeping this hand. We're on the draw, which is not ideal, but life shall persist. Turn 1 Bog Sliver boy. Bud Button Curse Toster. That's problematic. Destroy target creature with power 2 or less. Sure. Oh, we're just gonna try to out life gain it. We take 3 here. It can't block, friend. Okay. Well, we save ourselves from taking 3. Elm is amazing. Not an elf, but who cares? We're just curving out, right? So. Monty, sure. Sure. Now we're doing this. No blocks. I take 3. Your ordering is confusing, opponent. But I will gain another life. They have to kill the Elm now, or I get to use it to kill Auntie. Next turn I just slam a Cavalry. And the following turn I play Grave Shifter and I get back the Elm. Elm is best on turn 6, ideally, where you just play it and immediately remove the counters. There's nothing they can do to stop it. They just have to respond to the effect. Still not blocking that. But gaining 1 life every turn is quite nice. Elder Auntie. Well, now we get to keep up Blossoming Defense and remove the counters from Boggart Prankster. Or, remove the counters from the Elm. Actually, I think this is better. Just play this and gain the life, and then now future creatures get double. Remove this, kill the Auntie. No point attacking. Feeling pretty good here. Curse Tosser can't kill it now. I don't put a lot of counters on things. We do have 2 copies of Bog Sliver's Embrace, so eventually we can rebuild the Elm to remove 2 1/1 counters from itself, but or 2 counters from itself, but more likely we let it die and then we just get it back and do the thing again. Woo, Lockmare is scary. Remove 2 counters, tap, and stun. Remove 1 counter, draw a card. We have nothing in the graveyard here. So I'm just gonna... I assume they just draw 3 cards eventually off of this, which is pretty absurd. I think I just slam a cavalry. I guess the other option is we just attack with the elm, but that's like our only good blocker, really. I'm just gonna play cavalry, gain 2 life. They can draw cards. We're ahead on cards, so kind of just evens the playing field here. They need removal, and not this removal. Tapping a creature and putting a stun counter on it isn't really helping them. This card's really good. Seems like their goblins just splashing for it. It's probably worth it. So, interesting point. They've played double Curse Tosser, super aggressive with the Boggart Prankster, Elder Auntie, Heirloom Auntie, and they just really haven't been attacking. Alright, at this point, this is a free block. I want this to die. And if they kill both my emissaries with these, I lose. It's basically like they sacrificed both of these to kill the 2 emissaries. And if that's what they're doing with their whole turn on these premium uncommons, like my emissaries have been great, but at this point I've hit the late game, I've stabilized. I can always get them back if I need to. I have a Grave Shifter in hand. Gut Splitter Gang, big boy. Do I just play a Grave Shifter here? And get back a Death Toucher? Probably. And then... yes. And then we cast it. No life gained, but now the Gut Splitter Gang doesn't have attacks. The problem is now they can do Lockmare and then put the counters back on the Lockmare. So we do need to keep that in mind, but eventually we'll find a removal spell for either. The Surveil on Wicker Moss should be helpful. Dig us a little deeper. Death Touch? What? What was that? I meant to say oops. There's oops. Oh. I struggle greatly to believe that was the correct choice. Because that's now another turn of... oh, and then we hit a Bogsliver's Embrace. Alright, let's start with a Surveil. See what's up. Island. Weirdly, don't want it. Because I have double Wickermaw in play. I'm just going to Blight 1 and exile this on the dude I just played. And now I can go to combat and I'll swing with my... for 7. If they want to do double block things, this just kills both. Yeah, we know they have no cards in hand, so I get to kill both of these, hit them for 4, and now Cavalry gets to start attacking and being able to pump itself, and it can't be blocked by 1 or more creatures. Oh, Changeling Wayfinder is very nice. So now we just get to go get a land out of our deck. Doop, doop, doop. Our deck's looking pretty crazy if we hit anything. We'll go get to the forest. We've already milled the island, so we just have to be worried about that. But now they start having to blight on their own stuff. And I have chump blockers galore. And they're top decking too. They took 3 instead of putting 2 counters on Boggart Prankster. What? Uh-huh. I'm gonna sacrifice a 1/2. Thanks. My turn. Sure. Morcant Loyalist is very nice. But it only gives me 1 extra damage. I think I'd rather be holding up Cavalry pre-combat here. See what they got. What? Oh. Sure. it becomes this. You need to do this post-combat opponent. What are we doing? Okay. Well, did you think it gives -3/-3? And then now we have Loyalist to get back, I guess, Emissary? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what our opponent was doing there. I don't think. So I'm going to put it out there. Goblins have the lowest win rate. I think it's because people just are really struggling to pilot the Goblins deck. It requires a lot of thought and a lot of nuance of how to use its cards effectively. When piloted well, it's amazing. How are you going to use those Curse Tossers like that? You had double this. We should have lost that game. Double Curse Tosser. We didn't hit our rares. We didn't hit our powerful uncommons. Like, shouldn't have won that game. Ooh. If I wasn't on the play. If I was on the draw, I might keep this, but it's a little difficult, I would say. Bogsliver's Embrace is kind of terrible on turn 2, so I'm going to put it away. We have a Blight Rot to deal with other things. Turn 3, Moonglove seems good on the play. I don't like that I had to mulligan, but life will go on. Premium 2-drop here would be great. Even a Foraging Wickermaw. A land's not bad either, honestly. Blue-white into your own Wickermaw. Well, that makes this extractor a lot worse. So I'm actually going to play Brawler first. And then it must be blocked. Interesting. Attack. It must be blocked. Crazy. Emissary? Extractor? What is happening? You just pass turn 3 after surveilling to the graveyard? Distractor? This game feels over. I don't even feel like I have to White Rot this. They have to block the Brawler. And then I get a free card and I get to play double Wickermaw. So we pump one of the Elves. They have to block the 4/2. Ding, ding, ding. I want to save my removal for something real. And then we go Wickermaw, gain a life, surveil 1, to the grave. Wickermaw, gain a life, surveil 1. I guess that's not actually bad next turn. I actually don't mind that. We're going to play Changeling Wayfinder. And we're attacking, and they're going to have to be blocking. My elf! How could you? I'm going to get the land out of the deck first, and we're going to go get an island. And we'll play it, and we'll attack with everybody, as they're blocking the Extractor. And then I'm trading Extractor and Blossoming Defense for their flyer. Kind of fine with this. We now have White Rot for their next thing. Feeling pretty good here. Tapped Temple Garden. Sure. Land, swing with everybody. Get an Elm in play. It is target creature. Well, no point in using those. It's kind of free. I don't really know what's going on over there. They have vivid things, and they just haven't had the mana. Return up to 2 permanents. If you control a merfolk, you don't control a merfolk, so it's just bounce 2 things. Yeah, if that's your best play right now, you're in trouble. Emissary, replay the Elm, still holding up Blight Rot, swing for number 3. Pass. If that was your best play, you're like dead. Are you just flooded to all heck? They're not dead because I refuse to use the Elm to kill my own thing. It doesn't even do lethal. I gain 2 damage that way. Right? Because I take 2 off, and then I have to kill one of my own things, so it's really only 1 extra damage. I mean, I'm not using Blight Rot on that. I mean, I'm flooding now too, but we hit all of our stuff early game, so it didn't really matter. They can spend a full 5 mana to make it so it doesn't die, and it becomes a 1/1. And then they die to this. They block the 3/4 and take 4. And even if they have a combat trick that kills something, they lose. Bing, bong, bing, bong, bing. Alright, we're in plat, right? Like, we're just kind of coasting. It's not so late in the season that being in plat is, you know, easy. Playing as platinum players. You know, these are players that potentially were mythic or diamond at the end of last year. It's only 6 days into the new season. Alright, 4 wins. Profitable draft so far. Alright. Kind of like all the things I'm seeing here. Turn 2 Dignitary. Oh, goodness. Turn 1 Moonshadow is very scary. But the idea here is we're going to go Dignitary, and then we're going to play Foraging Wickermaw. Wow, that triggers it? Yeah, wow. We're going to go Foraging Wickermaw, and hopefully surveil an elf to the graveyard. So Moonshadow's already a 2/2. The thing about this card is it does a lot, but until it gets counters off, it's not that scary. And they are investing in removing the counters off of it right now. So the big picture is eventually we get to really efficiently exile it once they've invested in getting all these counters off of it. The Menace is quite annoying, I will say. Okay. This is where this could get really cool. Let's hit a elf. Not an elf. It is a land. Land's really good here. Because it means I get to Marlin eventually here. I can double block. And they don't know that the Wickermaw is actually more valuable to me than the Dignitary. On paper, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But next turn, we embrace and play Safe Right. And then the following turn, we just play Moonshadow. Pass. Or we play Marlin. My turn. Embrace. Blighting 1. This doesn't go to the graveyard. Put on the Wickermaw, because the Wickermaw's not blocking. Play a 2/2. No attacks. And the next time we play Marlin. And we'll have 3 elves in play. Seems pretty good to me. Do they recognize that the biggest threat on this board is the 0/2 Wickermaw? Whoa, Doran's scary. Okay, well now it's not because I drew an island. My plays. Alright, give me cards from your deck. 3 or less. Dang it. Alright. I got nothing. Give a removal spell immediately. As long as it's not an exile effect. It's just like, you know, destroy. No! And this is a 5/10. Well, I need... I mean, whatever I sack here, I get back. So I guess I just do the Wickermaw now, and then get it back with Graveshifter. That's so lame. And we keep hitting lands. I don't want lands. Take action. I don't know how we win now. We have to find a removal spell for Doran, certainly. Does Loyalist do anything for us? Yeah, it lets us start cycling elves on chump blocks. Moonshadow being a 1/1 again is kind of fine. Surveilling any permanent is going to make Moonshadow bigger. I kept that instantly. That's kind of concerning. So we block with the Graveshifter. And then now Morkant's Loyalist when it... Okay. Double Mythic. Creatures... Yeah, and everything's going to get Persist. Oh my goodness. I mean, my deck's great, but this is absurd. Woo! We got a counter off the Safe Right. Yeah, I mean, our issue is we have no bombs. Our only bomb is Marlin, and they had the answer to it. And we missed on our Marlin, even though we had 3 elves, so... Everything they has Persist, so we have to kill this first. Also, they can attack with impunity. Oh, okay. 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 Okay, opponent. Perfect draws all the way through. Love that for you. Starting with the turn 1 mythic. Alright, alright, alright. On the play with double Wicker Maw to make sure we hit our future lands. I could live with that. Turn 1 Goblin. This is where the Wicker Maw is amazing. Just completely shuts down this aggressive potential Goblin start. I'd love to keep that, but I can't. I need lands. Also, playing an Elf in the graveyard is not the worst thing in the world. I'm blocking if they're offering it to me. Okay, now we really need lands. Cool. No attacks. We have a Bog Slither's Embrace next turn, potentially, to keep ourselves safe. But we basically need to go land, land, land. Goblins on turn 3. They skipped their 2-drop. I'm pretty happy about them skipping their 2-drop. A lot of potential 3-drops I don't want to see. Probably the best 3-drop for them here is... Oh. White on the Bogger. You end up with a 5/4? Man, that's pretty large. Large and in charge. Well, I got bad news for you, opponent. Scarblade Scout and then Blossoming Defense it. No! Double land on top? Oh my goodness. That's so bad. We're gonna Blossoming Defense the Scout to make it a 4/4 lifelink. And then block with the block here. It seemed like they didn't have great plays, so happy to do this trade. We have an Embrace for if they play just a scary thing next turn and we don't draw a land. If we draw a land, we get to slam Cavalry. Oh, cool. Top deck land and we are in business. It's not the same. It's decent though. It gets back the Dignitary, which taps for double green. And then that could potentially get us there. But problem is we have to play Dignitary. We have to reveal Marlin because it's our only... Oh no, Cavalry's an elf. I'm thinking of the other one, the 3/5. Alright, well they hit their land here. Boggart Mischief, sure. That's eventually a problem, but we're at 24 life. Seems pretty far away. Land is so money. I'm just gonna pass. If we just top deck a land, you know, we're fine. Who knows? Maybe that double land mill was actually great because we would have just flooded to all heck after playing Marlin. But now we also have some elves in play for when we play Marlin. And we do need to keep both, or one of the 2 Wicker Maws eventually, but we're pretty far away from goblins being scary. They have 1 Boggart Mischief in play, and just 2 goblins, so... Chaos Spewer, kill a goblin. Oh, just pay for it. Wild. But fair. And we hit our land. Alright. Yeah, we would have flooded, so actually the mill was great. And then we get a 3 or less here. Free Gristle Glutton? Sign me up. No, I want all my elves. Every elf I have is an opportunity for a Marlin extra trigger. And we can discard and draw with the Glutton now if we draw a non-elf. If they do great, if they just kill her, you know, obviously they could exile her, which would once again be really annoying. Just 6 toughness though, so all the damage spells don't kill her. So it's got to be a Bog Slither's Embrace. Or 2 spells. The X spell, they would only be able to do 4. And the funny thing is, if she I'm actually kind of okay if she dies. So if they attack, I might block, and then they do like a combat trick or whatever. And then eventually Loyalist, I get to kill it myself with the Glutton and get back Marlin. And then eventually we have 3 other ways to get things from the graveyard. We have another Loyalist, we have the Changeling, and we have the 2/1 Kifkin. So Marlin being in the graveyard is not too big of a problem. Champion of the Weird, revealing the... Oh, you have a second Boggart Mischief. Whoa. Alright, are we blighting down? They can make us blight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I get to have 4 things not... Think of it this way. I have to have 4 blight opportunities still on the board by the end of it if they want to do the full board clear, basically. And if they do that, the 4 things I will keep are a Wicker Maw. Oh, when Loyalist dies, actually I lose 1, so I only get 3. Oh, and then they do nothing? This is sorcery speed only? Weird, dude. I don't agree with your play if you didn't actually want to use this. Because now you just kind of die. I mean, you have 1 red available, but it's really 1 of any color. So it could be black. It could be the 1 mana destroy a creature of toughness, or power 2 or less. Mana value 2 or less? The instant. Alright, well I have 4 elves in play. I get a free Reaping Willow. Holy moly. Which I can immediately use to return a creature, but I kind of would rather just Bog Sliver Embrace this immediately. This is remove 2 counters. Kind of fine with putting a counter here, because then next turn we can Gristleglut and we can do it twice. Yeah, I don't know what their play was there. Double Boggart Mischief and a Champion of the Weird. I feel like you have to have the better options than what you chose to do. That's just me. On the draw with just a good 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop is probably fine. It's funny because they're all uncommons, but they're kind of like the lower tier of our deck. This set's a little weird sometimes. Like, I would rather this be the common 2-mana, 3/1 Surveil, right? I would rather this be probably the Flash one, the 3-mana 4/2 Flash Reach Elf. Set design questions I have, indeed. I mean, if this card was a common, it would be absurd to be in every deck, right? So you can't really do it that way, but I'm just saying, an actual power level on an opening curve. Same power toughness, but relevant abilities. Easy keep. Ooh, no turn 1 Goblin this time. No Curse Tosser, no... Oh. Mountain. Are we elementals? Why did we keep this hand? Triple Mountain? Surely we're not mono red. Yeah, okay. Whenever you cast big things, draw a discard. Well, kind of want to just play a Changeling Wayfinder. Kind of want to play a Moonglove Extractor. I think no matter what, I'm attacking. I think I play an Extractor here. Not clear. Brawler's not bad because it has to be blocked, and then I get to buff this. And then once it's blocked, there's a creature in my graveyard. But my assumption is they're just playing a 4-drop here, and then I'm going to Blight Rot it. Main phase, Sneakling, Convoke, and put something on top of my library. Yep. And then you get to discard draw again. I will keep that on top, actually, because I'm going to shuffle here. I do not want to redraw it. But I do still want it in my deck because it's an elf. And we take action, we go get our island. I guess it doesn't matter if I put it on top or bottom then. Replay the island. No blocks from, no attacks from me. I want to block this Cinder. Alright, they're in the late game. And we're just passing. Terrifying and weird is an understatement. I'm just going to play Cavalry. They have a removal spell for it. They have a removal spell for it. I'd rather they remove this than a Marlin. Unexpected Assistance. Not choosing to discard and draw. Discard a land off of the Convoke. Sure. All this is fine. If I hit my 5th land, this game feels totally in my favor. Zealot's very good, though. Very good. Discard and draw a land away. Temporal Cleansing they can't cast. Well. I think we just play this and we just let them Temporal Cleansing it. Then they're giving it back to us. And we missed! No! Why does this always happen? When I have Marlin played against me, it hits like the best card in my deck and I just lose. And then I play Marlin and I hit like dinky stuff and lands. Ugh. It's very possible they have a good removal spell for it now. But. Okay. That we will Blight Rot. And then they Explosive Prodigy to kill it? Red, blue, black, red, blue, black. Okay. Well, they don't know that we have a Graveshifter in hand. And then they can tap everything to make me shuffle away my Cavalry. Okay. The next turn we just Graveshifter. Can we? Or do we have to play Blight Rot to kill this Twin Flame Travelers? This is sorcery speed? They're just... What? No blocks. This one I put on the bottom. Wickermaw. Man, I feel like I'm just dying so fast. I feel like I have to kill the Twin Flame Travelers. So surveilling a land is pretty great here. And then we just do this main phase. We have chump blockers for the Zealot. No attacks. Safe right now has an elf in the graveyard, which is very relevant. But we just need him to stop having stuff. Very happy to trade like this. And then chump block with the Wickermaw. Because it means I can play Graveshifter with a little bit of impunity. Land, which we knew about. I think I just slammed Graveshifter and try to get back Marlin. They have something at instant speed, but I'm just going to have to live with that. Take action. And then next turn we play Marlin again. Second Sneakling does not matter. And then pass, please. Oh, another Unexpected Assistance. Wow, the sequencing of their deck has been amazing. Like, their deck is fine. I would say it's actually quite good, but just like the way that they've drawn the cards in the order that they did is just impeccable. Dang. I don't know if we win this one. I think I have to chump block and hope I hit a 2-drop with Marlin. Cinder number 2? Sure. Better than the Eclipsed. Discard nothing? Baller. Sure. Ooh, Emissary is very good. So we're going to get... Do I want 1 life or do I want an extra trigger? I think I want an extra trigger. The 1 life probably won't matter. versus making sure we hit something off Marlin could. This gives us the opportunity to hit a 3-drop and something better than a Wickermaw. Nope, just all lands for them. Jeez. Well, we gain a life either way. Eclipsed Elf is gas. No attacks. They need another removal spell for Marlin here. But also Emissary blocks the Zealot cleanly, so they kind of need to remove that. Gnarlback Elm removes the Mauler next turn if we need it to. But all of this comes down to whether or not they remove Marlin this turn. If they do, they're in business. If they don't, they're in trouble. Because I actually chump block with Wickermaw to keep the Emissary alive for Elves and life gain. And they have drawn a lot of cards, so extra triggers was the other thing I was considering of they're running out of space in their deck. You know, 2 more Marlin triggers next turn, Eclipsed Elf into the Brawler is 4 more cards off the top. They draw a card next turn naturally, so they'll have 4 cards left in their deck. That's assuming Marlin lives. I mean, if they have a removal spell for Marlin, they use it here. So I'm assuming they just don't, because I can't imagine a world where they have it. Oh, bounce. Bounce your own Wickermaw? This is your Wickermaw. But does that actually help you? Or do you have to bounce Marlin so that I have to spend next turn casting her again? Bounce the Emissary? But I was going to block with the Wickermaw anyway. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I see. Tweeze is the thing that is concerning now. Because they can just shoot a Tweeze to my face. So we do this, and nothing. Seer deals 4. Ugh. I think we have to do it like this, and if they have Seer for Marlin, we lose. But this plays around Tweeze. Oh, it could also be the 1-mana sorcery speed, deal 2 or deal 4. I just don't think I can not block with Marlin. Okay. We live. And they're probably hoping I just miss off of all these Marlins, but the issue that they're going to run into is I just have multiple Elves in hand. End Blaze Epiphany. We have 7 cards left. This uses all of our black, but this makes it so we can play the Brawler in our hand if we hit a land. I need a real spell. We gain another life here. We have to take a land over. We can't cast this elf. Or do we take the Dignitary? Because then it's another elf for next turn. I see. Dignitary is the move. Cinder Strike. Oh my goodness. And we get another shot here. Gain another life. Draw. Lockmare? No thanks. I just do 2 damage to the thing that gives itself menace. And we're at 6 life. Damage is not how we win this game. It's milling them now. They have literally 2 cards in library, and we have the elf to make it 0 next turn. So we just have to live this turn with Marlin in play. And the Brawler in hand. If all of those things are true, we win. So I can just leave a Sneakling through, because dealing 4 in this set is quite hard. And then just block the other 3. Obviously, Emissary hits the Zealot. If they have a removal spell here for one of my smaller things, this gets really weird. Because I can either block a Sneakling, but then if they have a removal spell for Marlin, we die. Or I can block nothing, take 4, and then if they have Tweeze, I die. Because the 3 damage can go face. Once again, though, we're in the same spot where if they had a removal spell for Marlin, they would just use it. It's the thing keeping them from... It's the thing that kills them, realistically, right? They have 2 cards in the library, so yeah, if I just have an elf, Marlin kills them. So, since they clearly don't have a removal spell for Marlin, because that's just, you just snap that off if you top decked it, they're trying to figure out if they have other ways to win, or if they have to bank on me just not having an elf. And this is the advantage to taking an elf and playing it, is they don't actually know if we have an elf. So they could be going through all this and then like, but if I, fully commit to this strategy, and then they just miss on having an elf, I win. Tweeze face, discard and draw? You have a second Tweeze in deck, and it was a 50-50? Create a token with haste. Bounce Marlin 5 creatures, so you just had to top deck this to win? Okay, whatever. That's such an absurd sequence. But since they had Tweeze in hand, I don't think there was ever a way they could lose. Right? We triple block the 3 things that deal the most damage, and we take 4. Okay, good job, opponent. You figured it out. I don't know why that took so long. You just win. So, yeah. Because the other way you win, you don't have to do it that way. That's such an absurd way to go about it. Going face with it. I don't know what the other card in their deck was, but essentially the other way you do this is you just attack with everything, right? You're putting me in a spot where, going backwards, I had 4 creatures, you had 4 creatures. Oh no, I let the Sneakling through and take 2 and go to 4. Okay. Yeah, so you have to Tweeze first. And if you know this is in your deck, it's a 50-50. Okay. I don't know. I mean, we played that perfectly. They just had to have exactly Tweeze and then a removal spell. And also, that removal spell had to be better than that. It had to be exactly that because it was the creature that bounced it. Deck review. Our deck was fantastic. The games we lost were a little bit irritating, as has been consistently true with this set. And yeah, it's another good elf deck. Not hitting any of the rares was a little bit frustrating, I would say, for our elves. Like, we were clearly the only person in the draft that was in our deck, and we just didn't really see some of the key pieces for it. I'm not sure if that means people were hate drafting or maybe pivoting in when they shouldn't have been. But what basically happened is pack one, it was super clear it was supposed to be elves. We got every elf card that was realistically opened in pack 2 from the people passing to us, and they weren't the most impressive, but they were solid. And in pack 3, it was just super wishy-washy. It wasn't clear if like we were getting cut on elves or not. My prediction is we just didn't open much in the way of elves because we got really late signpost cards randomly, which to me tells me that nobody was really in our way. We just weren't opening the cards that we needed to open. And as a result, our deck was weaker than other pods who got to have the things for their tribe that they chose. And then when you play in those cross pod situations, you're just kind of sad. I'm pretty sure our pod opened 4 Lava Leapers, a relatively speaking unplayable rare. So, when you're in a weaker pod, that's kind of just how it works. Regardless, this was still a fun draft. I'm enjoying Lorwyn overall. It's just nice to be in a Magic space, but this set has some issues, and we all kind of know them, so we're just navigating them as we go through. Regardless, I really appreciate you watching to this point, and if you've had fun, enjoyed the drafts, I'd really appreciate if you subscribed, liked, joined the Discord, did all the things. But more important than any of that, I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks!